Located 2 hours' drive from both Belfast and Dublin is Lough Erne, known as the gateway to Northwest Ireland. And it's there that you'll discover Lough Erne Resort. Situated between 2 lochs, the thin peninsula of land makes a dramatic location for a golf course, which is precisely what designer Sir Nick Faldo thought when he first arrived at Lough Erne. Opened in 2007, the 2 inland layouts have made a big impression both on the Emerald Isle and globally.
You know, Sir Nick Faldo, he really found this beautiful piece of landscape. He found it with the owner, Jim Tracy. You don't get this piece of landscape everywhere in the world, and this is quite unique in itself. And the beautiful thing is, Sir Nick Faldo was brought in here to design a golf course, and he's a 6-time major winner, and he's done a fantastic job. He's used every piece of the land and incorporated everything that you want on a golf course, the nice bunkers, the water, the hazards, and he's fitted everything right into this whole peninsula, right out here where we're standing on the 10th hole and right around the border of the landscape. It's absolutely beautiful.
Faldo isn't the only famous face seen around Lough Erne. Rory McIlroy is attached as professional, and the 2-time major winner's presence perhaps overshadows the designers.
He is a spectacular player. He's only 22 years of age. And the nice connection here with Lough Erne is that Jim Tracy, he looked after Rory when he was a young lad from the age of 13. He really supported him. And, you know, whenever Sir Nick Faldo, who Rory always looked up to as well, came along and was going to be designing this wonderful golf course, Rory said to Jim Tracy, if you ever build that championship golf course, I'll be your touring pro. And they had a great connection. And, you know, it's been fantastic for Lough Erne because we've got this wonderful world-class golf course and it's connected with a world-class player, and it's a great combination. And you know, Rory would come down here, he had a property on site, he would come down, relax and spend a few days. But also we had one of the first matches here, the Lough Erne Challenge, where Rory and Padraig Harrington, 2 major winners, teeing it up here, playing this golf course, and a spectacular match that was televised all over the world.
While McIlroy's influence is seen everywhere throughout the pro shop, Faldo's impact at Lough Erne goes beyond that of just a designer.
We opened here the first Faldo Academy in Europe. He's a wonderful man who's played so many great tournaments, and his teaching method is fantastic. He doesn't believe that you have to do it right all the time. He believes that if you can learn how to do it wrong, you'll know what right feels like. And so it's very simple coaching. And we're delighted to be a part of that here. And we have a lot of people coming here for their tuition to take their games to the next level. And we joined up with Sir Nick Faldo, and we're offering the best in golf tuition, really.
The sprinkling of star power may be seen at every corner of Lough Erne, but the real headline grabber is the Faldo Championship Course. Head professional Lynn McCool begins her tour on the 7th hole.
It's the highest point of the golf course. And Rory McIlroy, he actually one day when the wind was behind, he hit the green. So when a lot of visitors come here, they stand in that tee box and they think, can we do a Rory McIlroy shot and reach the green? There's water on the right-hand side and the fairway slopes left to right. So it is a really, risky shot to play. So the ideal shot to play is, maybe a 220-yard drive and then leaving yourself an 8-iron, maybe a 150-yard shot into the green. The green very much has a lot of undulations, and, you've got to be very careful with your approach shot. You've got to be sure that you're going to keep the ball on the green. And the ideal position to play in from is the left-hand side, and it'll slope right down, once again, towards the water. But if you keep it far enough left, you'll stay on that green.
Next up for Lynn is the par 4 10th.
This is where the loch really comes into play. We get down in close to the loch, so you've got to keep your drive up to the left-hand side. You want to play a shot here about 200 yards, so you don't necessarily want to be hitting your driver. I like that one. Perfect. So here we are. I've hit a really good drive off the tee. I've landed on the flattest part of the fairway, left myself a shot of about 65 yards, but I've got to be careful here. I've got to land it just short of the screen and let the ball run up to the flagstick. I like it. I'm still dry. So here we are. I've managed to keep my second shot on the Emerald Isle green. And that's the big challenge here at the 10th hole, is keeping your second shot on this green, giving yourself a good opportunity for birdie. There's a lot of undulations in this green. It's quite a large green, and everything slopes down towards the loch. So I've managed to stay dry here. I'm about 25 feet away from the hole. I'm going to play it a little bit left to right, and let's see if we can make birdie in this lovely par 4. Not going to make birdie, but I'll be happy with a par. There we go. Nice one.
Northern Ireland's Lough Erne Resort is a spectacular piece of property with a designer to match. With an inland layout surrounded by 2 lochs, Sir Nick Faldo has concentrated those qualities into the final 3 holes. It's aptly named the Faldo Turn.
The finish of our golf holes, we've got a par 5, we've got a par 4, and we've got a par 3. And this is the Faldo Turn. And now we call it the Faldo Challenge. And this is where you'll get every type of shot that Sir Nick Faldo would have had to play, you know, when he went on to win those many majors. Number 16 in particular, off an elevated tee, and a big drive is required. You've got to hit it a long way. So it's a beautiful par 5. If you get your drive down far enough, you can try and go for the green in 2, but most times you'll find yourself just playing it in regulation. Your second shot, you know, some people will take out that 3-wood, and if I win, they'll go for the green. But once again, you know, this is Lough Erne. We're surrounded by water. We've got lots of reeds, and those bunkers very much placed and guarding many of the greens. The green itself is it's completely guarded by the bunkers. Once again, there's a few undulations and they're sloping off towards the bunkers or off towards the water. So the ideal shot, the approach shot there, whether it's your basic pitch or your second shot, you gotta play the high elevated shot into the green.
The next hole on the Faldo Turn is the par 4 17th.
This is a beautiful hole. This is a really nice hole, and I tell many of the visitors to make sure that they go to the back tee box. You get really close to the water, but the scenery there is just spectacular. You're looking back into our wonderful hotel in the backdrop. It's a par 4. You're standing on the tee box and you're saying, am I going to hit my 300-yard drive out there, or am I going to play a shot about 200 yards? Once again, very similar to the 10th hole, an island-style green. In Lough Erne, we've got so many golf holes that you've got to think your way around, that the beautiful thing is when people come off the course, they are remembering every single hole. So here we are at the final hole of the Faldo course, the 18th, a par 3. I'm playing off the white markers today. It's playing 180 yards. If you're off the back markers, it could be as far back as 230 yards. But here today, I'm going to select a 4-iron. Now, the one thing about the 18th hole here at the Faldo course, it's like an amphitheatre. It's surrounded by the hotel. So really, with the difficult conditions of the reeds and the water on the right-hand side and the audience from the hotel on the left-hand side, I really want to be playing a good shot here today. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm happy with that one. So here I am on the final green, the 18th hole at the Faldo course, and I've managed to get it on the landing spot of the green. But what a big green this is. I mean, I've left myself a very long putt here. Got a big slope from left to right. Tough looking putt, but I'm going to give it my best shot. That one's safe. That's a little tap in, or a little gimme. Nice one.
After a round at Lough Erne, there's no shortage of ways to unwind, from whisky-tasting nights to an evening spent at the resort's luxurious accommodation.
Very much so. The level of accommodation here is fantastic. You know, we've got 120 bedrooms, and the finish of them is just really to the 5-star level. But it's very comfortable as well. It's a very homely place. It's been designed with that homely feeling. You'll walk right in the entrance, and you know, you'll have the old log fires on all the time. And you know, it's just a spectacular setting to sit, come and relax. You don't necessarily need to be a golfer. You know, we've got a wonderful Thai spa as well. And we're very fortunate here because all our therapists, they come from Thailand, so you get the real Thai spa experience. The whole level of the golf course and the hotel just joins together very nicely. Most importantly, from a golfer's point of view, they're going to play a spectacular golf course. They're going to play a challenging golf course. They can play an easy golf course if they want, because we've got 5 sets of tees, or they can go off to the back markers. And then, you know, when you come to Northern Ireland, it's such a small country. You want to spend, you know, most of your week in the one spot and just travel around to all our variation of golf courses. You know, you don't need to be driving long distances. Everything is close by. You've got the Great Links, you've got Portrush, you've got Royal County Down, but there's so many more. You know, there's the Ardglasses and, you know, the Royal Belfast, so many good parkland courses, Malone Golf Course. I could go on forever. Northern Ireland has now opened and we've got so much to offer, and it's a new destination. So that's why I'd be saying to them, come and see what's new and where our great players are coming from.